right, so to start off, I would like you to imagine a scenario for me real quick. So you're going out to eat with your friends and family to one of your favorite restaurants, and you order your food. And when you order your food, you tell your waiter that you have severe food allergies, and you make sure that whatever you order isn't going to make you sick and it's safe for you to eat. So you go home after you've eaten and paid, and suddenly you're doubled over in pain with stabbing stomach cramps. A giant wave of nausea washes over you, and a piercing headache develops. You can't sleep, you can't eat, and you can hardly breathe with the amount of pain that you're in. Sounds pretty miserable, doesn't it? Well, unfortunately, this is the reality for a lot of people with celiac disease. Whenever you have celiac disease, you are strictly avoiding gluten. So whenever you get gluten, these are just a few of the side effects that you may experience. I was diagnosed with celiac disease in 2011 after 3 very long years of being in and out of hospitals, treatment centers, and going through numerous misdiagnoses. So living with a gluten-free diet for 9 years has allowed me to learn extensively the details and effects of celiac disease and what it can cause to your body. So while cutting out gluten in the past has been seen as a major fad diet, I think that the FDA, who is in charge of all of the allergen labeling and all that good stuff, should recognize it as an allergy because celiac disease is a serious autoimmune condition that causes permanent damage. It's very easy to find a product that has hidden gluten, and a lot of the time, celiacs have to play kind of a guessing game to figure out whether or not the food has gluten in it. And lastly, it takes about 4 years on average for a symptomatic patient to be diagnosed, and that dramatically increases their chances of developing another autoimmune disease. So just to start off, we're going to do an overview of celiac disease and just what it can do to your body long-term and short-term. So according to the US National Library of Medicine, celiac disease is a genetic autoimmune disease in which people can't eat gluten because it will damage their small intestine. Gluten is found in a protein in wheat, rye, and barley. So when gluten is ingested, the immune system attacks the villus in the small intestine, and basically villi are small bumps that line your small intestine and increase surface area for food absorption and digestive excretions, which allows for the breakdown and absorption of nutrients. So the damage caused by this can cause stunted growth in children, anemia, and if left untreated, according to the University of Chicago Medicine, the development of other autoimmune diseases is rampant in celiac disease patients. So some of these diseases can include arthritis, thyroid disease, type 1 diabetes, and alopecia, which is the loss of all hair, eyebrows, eyelashes, head hair, everything. So I was personally diagnosed with juvenile idiopathic arthritis, which basically means that when I was diagnosed, I was an adolescent or a kid. And the idiopathic portion of that just means that they're not really sure how the celiac disease caused it, but they just know that it did. So in addition to these long-term effects, getting gluten leads to immediate painful and very disruptive symptoms for chronic diarrhea or constipation, extreme weight loss, gas, anemia, which is a low blood cell count, and that'll lead to lightheadedness and other health issues. Tingling, numb feeling in legs, just like in diabetes, missed periods, infertility, skin rashes, and it can actually cause your teeth to start changing color. So some of the more painful symptoms are chronic bloating, muscle cramps, bone pain, joint pain, and early osteoporosis that leads to a lot of common fractures. And whenever I get gluten, I get so bloated that one of my friends actually calls it the gluten baby because it looks like I'm pregnant. It's quite ridiculous. So as simple as it may seem to avoid gluten and these unfortunate symptoms, gluten is often hidden in products. So gluten, as you know, is a protein that is found in wheat, barley, and rye, and it's found in a lot of products that you would never guess, like the caramel syrup, Starbucks, for example. It has gluten in it. Taco and steak seasonings, soup bases, gravy, granola bars, Haribo gummy bears, soy sauce, medicines, and a ton more. It can be found in products that don't even directly contain gluten, but have come in contact with gluten, which is known as cross-contamination. This is most commonly found in restaurants and factories that produce a wide array of products. I know that a lot of the great value gluten-free products are also produced in a facility that has a lot of wheat floating around, so those will make me sick. And with gluten hiding in everything and the stigma surrounding the diet from it being such a big fad diet previously, it's incredibly difficult to avoid getting gluten and getting super sick from it. So restaurants and companies currently are not required to label gluten as an allergen, which makes it extremely difficult to detect unless you know exactly what you're looking for. And let me tell you, the list is extensive. So some examples of hidden ingredients include starch, textured vegetable protein, malt vinegar, hydrolyzed plant protein, brown rice syrup, and maltodextrin. And I found that list on the Cleveland Clinic, and it was updated in 2020. So the medications that it can be found in, it's often used as a filler. And the first one is lansoprazole, and that's used to treat symptoms of gastroesophageal reflux disease, also known as GERD. And that's actually another symptom of celiac disease whenever you get gluten. So you can see where that would lead to some issues. And then the next one is Cold Ease, and it's basically just a cough drop. And then the last one that I have here is Derminade nutrition for troubled skin, which is a supplement used to manage skin conditions, and untreated celiac disease can also lead to an influx in acne. And then after that one, it's not a specific brand, but it can be used as a filler in some vitamin and mineral supplements. And I got that list from the US National Library of Medicine, and it was updated in 2020. So when dealing with an autoimmune disease, it's vitally important to be able to identify the instrumental forces behind triggering a reaction. So the FDA should qualify gluten as an official allergen because if it was added to the official allergen list, the identification of triggers would be super simple and celiacs wouldn't have to play that guessing game anymore. Currently, companies only need to report wheat as an allergen in their products, and celiac symptoms are triggered by not only wheat, but barley and rye as well, and that makes that incredibly inadequate. So another example of this is when eating in restaurants, even ordering just something like grilled chicken with no seasoning, that can end badly with cross-contamination from shared grills that have seasonings from other foods. So just to wrap everything up here. So even though cutting gluten out has been seen as such a fad diet in the past, celiac disease, you absolutely have to follow this for your entire life. There is no cure. You can't just grow out of it. And it attacks the small intestine and it causes such severe damage that you might need a feeding tube if you don't adhere to this diet. So gluten is not always easy to find. It's hidden in strange products. And because of these, the FDA should qualify gluten as a major allergen. And you can help us push this project to the FDA by going to change.org and finding the petition labeled FDA Require Gluten to be labeled as an allergen. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.